The Scottish Highlands have witnessed countless battles across centuries, but nothing quite like Joint Warrior Exercise Scotland. What was meant to be a routine multinational training operation descended into absolute chaos when 200 Royal Marines Commandos found themselves pitted against forces from 13 NATO armies in the most unforgiving terrain Europe has to offer. The setup, a test of ultimate survival. Joint Warrior is NATO's largest military exercise, designed to test interoperability, tactics and endurance under extreme conditions. The exercise typically involves air, land and maritime forces conducting complex scenarios across Scotland's rugged landscape. But this iteration had a brutal twist. The Royal Marines would operate as an opposing force against a coalition representing the combined might of NATO's European members: Germany, France, Netherlands, Poland, Spain, and 8 others. The mission parameters were deceptively simple: survive, evade, and accomplish objectives, while outnumbered 65 to -1. The Marines were given limited supplies, no external support, and faced enemies equipped with superior numbers, advanced technology, and intimate knowledge of their movements. The British advantage, born in brutality. Royal Marines Commandos don't just train, they're forged. The 32-week commando course has a 90% failure rate, pushing recruits through freezing ocean swims, 30-mile speed marches with crushing loads, and exercises designed to break both body and spirit. Those who earn the Green Beret possess something statistics can't measure: an almost feral instinct for survival. Against the multinational forces' sophisticated coordination centers and technological advantages, the Marines deployed their greatest weapon: intimate knowledge of operating in Scotland's merciless environment. While NATO forces relied on GPS and communication networks, the commandos navigated by terrain reading, moved in absolute silence, and struck with surgical precision before vanishing into the mist-shrouded glens. The slaughter begins within 48 hours. The exercise had become a masterclass in guerrilla warfare. The Marines, operating in dispersed bricks of 4 men, turned Scotland into a nightmare maze. They booby-trapped likely routes, established kill zones in narrow passes, and exploited every weather shift. When NATO forces attempted coordinated sweeps, they found themselves ambushed from positions that shouldn't have existed. The Marines had spent nights digging spider holes and concealed observation posts that conventional doctrine declared impossible in that terrain. The NATO coalition's superior numbers became a liability. Communication between 13 different armies, each with distinct protocols, created fatal delays. When German forces spotted a Marine position and called for Polish artillery support, translation and coordination gaps gave the commandos precious minutes to relocate and counter-ambush the responding forces. The verdict: only one survived by exercise end. Assessment teams delivered a stunning verdict. In a real combat scenario, the Royal Marines would have been the sole surviving effective force. The NATO armies, despite overwhelming advantages, had been systematically dismantled through exhaustion, confusion, and the commandos' relentless psychological warfare. The lesson was humbling for NATO and terrifying for potential adversaries. Numbers and technology mean nothing when facing warriors who've mastered operating in humanity's harshest conditions. The 200 Marines hadn't just survived, they dominated through sheer will, superior training, and the kind of adaptation that only comes from being forged in ice, mud, and the unbreakable belief that surrender isn't in their vocabulary. Scotland's mountains kept their secrets, but the message echoed clear: never underestimate the men in green berets.